people have understood the health benefits of being outdoors for a long time. But I think that with green care and care farming in particular, sort of we first heard about the term green care and care farming about probably 10 to 15 years ago now, and it started, or we heard about it most from Europe, and certainly in the Netherlands, where care farming was quite, or green care farming as they call it, was quite established and was supported by the government, and it was really starting to be a thing. And in the UK we started off by seeing whether anybody was doing it and gathering people together in order to start being a sector. And it was great to see people from disparate areas of the UK realising that it wasn't something they were just doing on their own. There were other people opening up their farms to all sorts of different service user groups as part of a structured care, rehabilitation or specialist education programme.
There are very many ways in which people can access nature for their general health and well-being. On the one hand, you've got the ways in which we can interact in our everyday lives, so whether that's working on a farm or getting out into the countryside for leisure and recreation activities, or working in your garden and just enjoying being in nature. That's at one end of the spectrum. At the other end of the spectrum is ways in which we can actively engage people who've got a defined health or well-being or educational need to help them work on their needs within a nature-based setting. And that's what we define as green care. And that nature-based setting could be on a farm, it could be in a garden, it could be an allotment. It's about getting them out in nature. So care farming and social and therapeutic horticulture really are very closely related and sit together under the green care umbrella.
We know that there are approximately 250 care farms across the UK, the last time we counted, and we know that there are about just over 300,000 places per year.
To begin with, it was very much farmers and farmers' wives who were getting into care farming, and now more and more there are people with social care qualifications, healthcare, people who've seen the benefits of care farming but are coming in from a very fresh perspective, perhaps haven't even got land yet. So certainly the type of people coming forward is changing.
There's no such thing really as a typical care farm, just as there isn't any such thing as a typical farm or a typical garden. All care farms use the natural environment and the meaningful activity that they're doing on that natural environment as a way to help people to achieve better outcomes, whether that's sort of feeling better or whether that's becoming more able to engage with education or into work, sort of whatever it is. There are some things that they that have in common. That is that it's a structured program of work or farming related activities that happen, and the main emphasis is on the bespoke person-centered care. So the service user is at the focus of all of that, but at the same time they are working within a real environment where there are jobs that need to be done as part of the farm.
It's about working with people in an outdoor environment where people can breathe fresh air, smell some grass, get involved in a variety of different activities, with the support of people to help them grow, to help them progress, to help them meet goals, to help them challenge what they believe they think they can do, but also for them to have a positive experience in an outdoor setting.
It's very much that interaction with nature that's also purposeful, so that meaningful occupation on a farm I think the co-farmers get a lot out of.
Care farming is the therapeutic use of the natural environment in a very simplistic way, and it works because you treat people as individuals. You leave the diagnosis at the farm gate, you're doing something real, you're not doing anything that's made up. It's all, everything we've done has got a purpose. You're looking after animals or growing a crop because that animal needs looking after, or that crop needs harvesting because someone's there wanting to buy it. So there's a purpose and a a reason for doing everything. That's why it works.
I think it's the animals, because for whatever's going on for different young people, they generally know that animals don't judge them, so most young people do like the animals, whereas they might have been let down by school, or they might have been let down by their families. They know that, you know, the animals, if you feed them, they'll come to you, so they strike up a relationship with them.
One of the first things is not all care farms have to be about animal care. Animals are a massively therapeutic activity with people, but it doesn't have to be. You know, it can be just about being outside, gardening, the smell of the plants. As long as it's sensory stuff, it doesn't have to be about animals.
The most frequently attending group of people are people with learning disability. We see care farms delivering services for people with mental ill health of varying degrees. A lot of care farms provide services for adults and children with ASD on the autistic spectrum, and physical disability. The list is huge, really. There are all sorts of different service user groups that benefit from coming to a care farm. Children excluded from school, young people with behavioural issues, veterans with PTSD, all sorts, older people with dementia, younger people with dementia, a wide variety of service user groups can attend a care farm.
We support people from the age of 18 up to some people in their 80s. Which makes it, you know, not just a very inclusive place, but it makes a place that that's great fun to be in too, you know. Lots of people, lots of the different care needs. We cater for, we support and provide support for, you know, like I say, a massive range of individuals, and we're very proud of the support and the care that we provide to all these individuals.
So we work with, I suppose you call them disaffected, excluded teenagers. Our youngest is 13 and I think our oldest is 18 at the moment. So we work with young people who find conventional education really challenging and can exhibit some very difficult behaviours in school. They really like the thought of coming to a real farm because it's a business, it is very different to the school environment.
We're open 5 days a week, and the farm allows us to have up to 12 co-farmers a day, which we're now at the capacity. We have 12 co-farmers a day every day. Co-farmers are people with learning disabilities, and probably around 50% of them also have autism, and they're mostly over 18 years of age, but we do have a small schools group that come on a Tuesday through the academic terms.
So people come to the farm in a variety of different ways. So some people self-refer to the programme, the health and social care programmes, but other people are referred by mental health agencies, from their support workers, care coordinators, OTs, and I think that the farm has been here for so long that we've actually got really strong positive networks with a lot of these agencies that operate around the farm.
So the referrals come from carers, neighbours, word of mouth, and they just keep coming through. So for the countrymen, that's how it happened. We do get a few from community mental health teams, and I hope we'll get some from social prescribing in the future.
People will either come through a self sort of referral, the family or friend knows about us and knows what we do, and they'll come along, get in touch and have a look around. We've got quite a few referrals from local authorities. So North Yorkshire County Council and Redcar and Cleveland Council, we board a sort of two councils really. So they'll directly refer through social services, and that's some of the people we support living with dementia also come through referred that way. And we also do a lot of work with local special educational needs schools, so they'll bring school groups out to work on the farm or in the garden with us, and then for some of those children, when it comes to the end of school, the days at school, they'll sort of almost self-refer onto the farm really.
And that one school first of all said, come on, we're going to give this a go, this is a risk, it's a farm. Actually it's quite far away, actually it's Gillingham, so it's about 15 miles away, And they said, no, we'll send you a group of 6, let's see how it will go. And so it started with one school, one learning centre where children were excluded from that I'd worked with before, and then that just snowballed. So it's about 20 schools now across Somerset and Dorset.
Most co-farmers will pay a contribution to the costs from their personal budgets. The standard charge we put is £50 a day, and the total income we derive from everything that co-farmers contribute covers about 45 to 50% of our running costs, and the remainder is funded through grants through sort of either national programmes or Oxfordshire family trusts and foundations or other kind of regional initiatives.
The way the farm is funded, we're currently in receipt of a grant called Bristol Impact Fund, which is a 4-year project. So that's money from the council, and that is at the moment covering all of the volunteer activity that takes place at the farm. It's great because there's a lot of freedom within that grant to work with people, a real diverse mix of people.
The charity is quite does a lot of fundraising itself, so a lot of it is fundraise that way. The land itself was donated a long time ago, but each individual that comes, they pay a daily fee to come, which is £45 a session being a full day. And then if they need transport as well, we provide transport for £20 per person per day. So that's predominantly how it's funded, but we do rely on fundraising income.
They do everything we do. So if they're allowed to drive the tractor from 14, they drive the tractor at 14. So as long as there's the legal regulations, they'll do exactly what we do.
I think it is the variety that works really well. When people come in, they know that they're not just being here to be pigeonholed into something. You're not just going to be growing the daffodils because that's what you did last week and that's what you're going to do next week. You might be growing daffodils one week, but you might be cleaning out the guinea pigs another week, or walking an alpaca, or moving wood chip in a wheelbarrow to make a path somewhere.
The crucial thing is the synergistic benefits that come from the natural environment, the social environment and the meaningful activity.
We treat them as you would a fellow employee, really. I go on the mantra here, and I try and instill it on all the team, is that we leave people's diagnosis at the farm gate. So it's that idea of that people come here, they've got a clean slate with us. Obviously we're aware of their history and their care plans and things like that, but we try to treat them as you would any other colleague, and that's where you get a lot of respect from the people. I think that's where you get why care farming works, really, because people respect you as they would anybody else.
You might not have like experienced like working with animals or anything before, but like, when you do, it can be really, really rewarding. Like you build up like a friendship and a trust with the animals, and it's different like with people, and you learn different things than like if you're in a school or anything.
I can wake up in the morning and say, yay, I'm going to school, because most mornings I just wake up and say, got school, don't like school. Yeah, it's actually alright. You get to move, you get to do stuff. It's better.
I talk to everybody about care farming, all of my colleagues. I tell them all there's two care farms locally, I tell them to go to both and have a look, because as much as I tell them, you don't know till you come here.
The most powerful thing is actually hearing the feedback from young people, and the fact that there are young people that kind of come back to visit at open days and they talk about their progress, and their testimony is extremely powerful. You will get that doubtless as you go around, in saying this organisation has been a key part in making a difference in our lives, turning our lives around in some cases, and I don't think there's outcomes that are much more powerful than that.
It's the young people that are such strong advocates, I think, you know, for the work that we do, but also the young people that go on from here and go for job interviews and go on to college, you know, knowing what some of them have kind of had to kind of cope with. I'm hugely proud of them. Very, very great pride in youngsters that have kind of, yeah, we've got to know, we've supported, perhaps only for a year or two, but have then gone on and yeah, come back to us. And I know we've made a big difference in a lot of youngsters' lives.
It's about them enjoying life again. I think all of them have been in a bad place where they've struggled with their mental health, and they've come here, and it isn't about their dementia, it's about being alive and enjoying being with other people, enjoying nature. So it's seeing them being happier, and then their wives, their family being happier as a result.
It's lovely and so lovely to have a place to feel accepted and know that there is no stigma here. You're not stigmatised. Mental health has still, unfortunately, got a lot of stigma around it. But I mean, here there is no stigma. There is no there is no disabilities. I like to think about it as having alternative abilities. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, but yeah, everyone does different things. It's just nice to feel part of something.
It basically reminds me of what I used to be able to do. I ain't as good as what I used to be, but that's just because before there was nothing really for me to do, and so I just lounging around and yeah, my solicitors referred me to here, and yeah, that's absolutely brilliant. Just reminded me what I used to be able to do, and yeah, just comes back to me, triggers me, and I'm happy about it.
People that we support, every single one of them are amazing. They bring you so much joy, they really do. It's like really satisfying, and you go home and you always have a smile on your face, because it is just the confidence and everything, how much they're growing, like on a weekly, you can see it sort of transpiring, like it's just really, really worthwhile.